Okay, so let's unpack a really pretty audacious proposal today. Imagine a financial system so radical, it's actually pitched as a factory reset for the whole global economy. We're doing a deep dive into the world's financial system by an independent researcher, Abdul Qadir Hashashne. It's a very unique blueprint.
Yeah, it really is. And what's fascinating, I think, is its incredibly bold mission, almost utopian, you might say. It's aiming to completely eradicate inflation, usury, which is, riba in Islamic finance, that idea of excessive interest.
Right, the prohibition on exploitative interest.
Exactly. And poverty, too. And the proposal suggests doing this by, well, blending religious authenticity, specifically Islamic ideas like zakat with really cutting-edge tech. AI comes into it.
Okay, and the system itself, it introduces a really novel approach to currency, doesn't it?
Hmm.
At its core, there's this new digital currency. It kicks off as an 18-karat digital gold gram currency.
Mm-hmm.
The proposal says it's self-valuing and self-reserving. So its value is tied intrinsically to gold, not market whims or, central banks.
That seems to be the idea. Stability through a physical asset. But then, and this is where it gets really innovative, like you said, it evolves. It becomes a time digital currency.
A time currency? How does that work?
Well, the design is meant to make it completely inflation resistant. Because when you spend it, say, making a phone call or using the internet, that balance is effectively burned.
Burned, so it just vanishes. Yeah, it disappears once it's used for its purpose.
Yeah.
That's the mechanism proposed to stop inflation dead.
Wow. That's a fascinating mechanism. But I mean, for a deep dive, it does raise questions, right? Like, how does constantly burning currency affect, everyday liquidity or economic growth?
That's a key question. Hashashne's proposal suggests this model just redefines value altogether, moving away from traditional accumulation. And, well, reimagining currency like that means you need a radical rethink of banks, too.
Right.
So the system proposes these fundamental changes to banking. It aims to operate more like a mobile phone network.
Using a SIM card for banking? Exactly. The idea is to move away from relying on the public internet for security. It suggests transactions happen on a dedicated network, maybe more secure, like how a Thuraya satellite phone works, perhaps. That kind of robust, independent communication.
That is a completely different infrastructure for finance.
Wow. And the claims, they don't stop there, do they? According to the blueprint, it promises zero taxes, zero customs duties, zero bank transaction fees. I mean, that's a massive claim. How would anything get funded? Public services, infrastructure.
Yeah, that's a big one. The proposal doesn't detail exhaustively the innovative alternatives for funding public services, but the implication seems to be that the system's built-in wealth redistribution mechanisms, through maybe a new form of digital charity and resource management, would replace traditional taxes. It also mentions a unified salary scale tied to gold value, aiming to really narrow that gap between rich and poor. Okay, so let's bring it down to the individual level. If this system actually happened, how might it change your personal finances? The proposal outlines some pretty ambitious benefits, like the possibility of instant retirement.
Instant retirement.
Yeah, once your annual savings drop below the zakat threshold, that minimum wealth level, tied here to 85 grams of 18-karat gold. And it also promises automated immediate distribution of zakat funds from the wealthy directly to the poor. The aim being to eliminate poverty. Plus, it talks about supporting citizen projects with 100% funding through a fair Islamic murabahah system.
Right, that's the cost-plus financing model, no conventional interest.
Exactly.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, the author really envisions this as a, quote, root and final solution for global economic problems. Hashashne pitches it as a way for nations, he mentions Qatar and their 2030 vision as an example, to get unprecedented financial stability, economic prosperity, all by redefining wealth and challenging those traditional models.
So it's really about a fundamental shift.
Absolutely. The blueprint suggests it would lead to the, extinction of traditional banks by killing off usury and fees. It would also disrupt current digital currencies because this time currency isn't just virtual, it's based on tangible value and utility. It leans heavily on AI to manage wealth distribution, automating the flow of funds based on rules, and even uses genetic fingerprinting for security, aiming for a totally paperless system.
Okay, so let's try and pull these threads together. We've looked at a vision, really, for a global financial system, one that aims to wipe out inflation and poverty using a digital currency, tied first to gold, then to time, distributed via mobile networks, and all underpinned by Islamic financial principles.
Which does raise, I think, an important question for you, the listener, to consider. If a financial system could actually be designed to be free of inflation and usury,
Mhm.
if it relied on concepts like automatic wealth redistribution and this time-based value, how would that fundamentally reshape our whole understanding of prosperity?
Of work, even, the very purpose of money itself. That's definitely something to think about as you navigate the financial landscape we have today. What truly is the measure of value?